Welcome back to my channel. I've got a big commission to work on now. It's going to be Dutch pour blooms, a greeny white goldy base and purple Dutch pour blooms. You might have seen a week ago I did a trial piece for this commission, and it was quite. I'll put a picture of it in here for you. But the painting, it was a little bit too dark. The client agreed, as I thought she would say, that it was just too dark. The green was too dark, and it needed to be a little bit more like the original that she'd seen, which I'd painted a few years ago, and I'll put in a picture of that one here. What she liked about the painting I've just done is that the flowers were a lot closer together, and she preferred that to the more separated flowers on the original. So I'm going to try and do a combination of the two. So lighter in colour, less of that dark green on the base, but more flowers. So I'm a little bit nervous because it's a big canvas, but yeah, let's get started. Here are my colours. The base, I'm just using these four colours. So Montmartre White, Montmartre Gold, Pebeo Studio Acrylics. What colour is this? Oh, there we go. Phthalocyanine Emerald. And then Pebeo Iridescent Green Yellow. So just a tiny bit of this, more of the lighter colours. And then the flowers, the blooms, will be three Amsterdam colours: Ultramarine Violet, Permanent Red Violet and Permanent Blue Violet. They're all going to be mixed to my Dutch pour consistency, but with PVA glue. So it's 2 parts PVA pouring medium, 1 part paint to half a part water. Right, lovely big canvas. It's 91 by 61 centimetres, so really pretty big canvas. Right, first thing I'm going to do is blow out the base. So I'll use the hairdryer for this bit. Now I want the majority of white, as I said, but a little bit of gold, a little bit of green and a tiny bit of the dark green. So I think I'm going to pour some of the white on first. And in fact, I might even blow that out and then just put a little bit of the other colours in. Right, blown it out a bit, obviously not fully. So let's just add in a little bit of the other colours. I am over the moon with this. Really happy. You've got the colours, but it's much paler, much softer. I've got the other two paintings just hanging up in my art studio. I keep looking at them. This is a bit paler than the original that she liked. Is it too pale? Does it need more green? I'm going to add just a little bit more of the green and hope I'm doing the right thing. Only the light green though. I'm happier. More green. I am happier with that. I don't like this really dark bit of green here. Let's try and get rid of that. Right, I'm just looking at the balance of it. Yeah, I'm happy. I think if I put any more on, I think I could ruin it. So the base is done. I'm happy, I think. Just hope it's right. So the next part of the blooms, so which is the easy bit, which is the difficult bit. I just can't work out whether the worst bit is now to come, the most tricky bit. I feel like that was stressful. I feel like that was probably the most difficult, getting the base right. But equally, the blooms, this is going to be really difficult because I'm going to have to move the canvas around to be able to angle myself so I can blow on the canvas in the centre and lean across them. Oh, all part of the fun. Right, I think I'm going to do just a little test one. I quite like doing a test piece at the corner so that I can just remove it if it's not right. So I've got the pinkier purple, the two purples, and I'm also going to put a little bit of gold into the bloom. So I think I'm going to, I'll see what happens. I'll just do a couple of spots. That was 3 spots, I think, of the pinky. And the reason I do a test is because it gives me an idea of how much paint to use, how much to put on, and then also how close to put the blooms together. This is a huge canvas, so I can go actually quite a bit bigger. So I've got a reasonable amount of paint there. So I'm now just going to blow that out in all directions and see what happens. Now that is really pretty. Really like that. I'm going to just do lots of blooms like that, and I'm going to try and put them on randomly. I don't want any order to these. I want it to hopefully look quite random, but random I find quite difficult to do. Right, this has gone really quite well. I am really happy with what I've got here so far. Now what I'm going to do is use a straw to blow around the edges of all the blooms. I want to just try and fill in a little bit of the gaps, not completely, but I want them just to be all a little bit closer to each other. The last thing I'm going to do now is just with the end of a paintbrush, just draw the white in very slightly in a few places on each flower, so it just creates the petals. And then I will just do a few little twirly bits in between just to draw it all together. So finally finished. It's taken a while. I am really happy. I hope it's what the client wants. I'll find out when I show her. It's gone, I think, as well as I could have hoped at this stage. I am really pleased with it. One thing I think I will probably do though when it's dry is just outline all of the flowers, which is what I did in the original and the practice piece. So you'll see, for example, this flower here, it's beautiful, but it's not very dark around the edge. So if I just use a bit of the dark purple just to highlight the edge, just to define it, I think that will really look pretty. Now, the best bit, I think, are the cells. So the Montmartre white, for some reason, whenever I use it, it just gets really sort of reactive. It creates these really puffy little cells. So I've got so much detail in here without using any Floetrol. I haven't got any Flood Floetrol. I haven't got any Australian Floetrol. It's just the PVA glue and water, and then the interaction between the different paints and the different brands of paint. Really happy with the base because it's much lighter than the practice piece. I'm nervous. I always get nervous with commissions because I try and advise the client that it's always going to be different from the original, and so I just hope it's close enough. So I'll be back when it's dry. So here's the final result, now finished, now dry. I've highlighted, I've outlined every single flower with a little bit of dark purple. So I've just hand painted it on with a paintbrush. It just looked a little bit too sort of indistinct before, and it looks a little bit too blended, I think. So I've just outlined every flower and I just think it makes it pop. Really pleased with it. Let me show you up close. I love the cells, the white cells, the white puffy little cells that have just popped around. They just have so much depth to them. I just love the detail of it. Really pretty details. Now the colours, the combinations have worked brilliantly because you've got the dark purple as the dominant colour, but you can see hints of the pink underneath and some of the pale purple. The base, so much happier with the base. It's so light this time. I hope it's not too light, but compared to the practice piece, it's entirely different. So I feel that this is much more similar to the original. So what I will do now is show the client and see what she thinks, get her feedback. One idea I had was that I've got my idea here. I did this painting recently, and I don't know if you can see the gold in this. In fact, I'll move it around. So I used some gilding foil around the edge of the flowers. So I was wondering how that would look on this piece. So that's something I'm going to suggest to the client, whether she would like me to do that as well, just to give it a bit of sparkle. But yeah, so happy. Big canvas, quite a lot of work because there's a lot of blooms on there, but really, I'm really happy with the result. And please let me know what you think. Please leave me a comment. Please do subscribe to my channel. Great, thanks for watching. Bye.